If you're doing 6 to 8 reps to build muscle, then I'm sorry, but you'll never have guns like mine.
The rep range doesn't matter when it comes to building muscle. Building muscle is not rocket science. If you look at Olympic lifters who primarily focus on strength training, they have a lot of muscle. And if you look at bodybuilders who primarily focus on hypertrophy, they also have a lot of muscle. You see, there's a huge crossover between strength training and hypertrophy. Let's take one of the greatest of all times, an absolute freak in terms of strength and size, Ronnie Coleman being your prime example. Now, what we do know from research is that hypertrophy training tends to yield better muscle development, but that can be achieved anywhere between 5 to 30 reps. That's a big range. Typically speaking, heavy compound movements are going to be done best on the lower end of that rep range because they're so physically demanding, whereas smaller muscle groups such as shoulders, arms at a slightly higher rep range. But I would argue that it's always good to have at least 1 to 2 sets where you're pushing heavy loads for low reps. But even with all that being said, you could have the perfect rep range, most optimal gym program. It doesn't matter. It doesn't guarantee that you'll grow muscle. That's because if those working sets are not driving high bouts of mechanical tension, you are not going to stimulate the muscle enough to get growth out of it. So if you want to increase muscle mass, you need to work on proper form and execution of all your sets and push each and every one of them as close as you possibly can to failure, which will give you the highest amount of mechanical tension. Pair that with a good diet, sleep, recovery, all that jazz. And that in itself will lead to more muscle mass.